Welcome back, guys. 3 more weeks, and what a crazy week we just had. Somehow I was the only one to score over 200 points, even though I'm only 5-5. It was strange. Tim Falcone put up 160 points, 168. That's by far one of his lowest outputs of the year. Just a bizarre week all around. And it begins with what happened to Gina. She started the quarterback that was ranked 24th in the league. So you expect 20-some points, even though it's Peyton Manning. He got negative 16. I'm sorry, Gina. I feel for you. I mean, even if he scored 40 points, it might not have mattered because Jason wins 172-101 to get his third win of the year to keep his playoff hopes kind of alive. But Gina also gets eliminated because Peyton Manning had negative 16 points on the week. So she falls out of the eliminator, so there's only 4 remaining. I will have immunity for next week because, like I said, I'm the only person scored with 200 points. I scored 218 versus my brother and won 218-161. Zach's pretty much eliminated from playoff action with that loss. The other people in the eliminator still start with Tim, who's 9-1, 168-114 over Balky's team, who laid an egg this week after having a strong week last week. So Tim stays the eliminator, but does not have immunity next week, so he could be eliminated. You never know. Rob is also in the eliminator, 175-133, a win over Mr. Rosencrantz. And Saul Doan only scored 142 points, but because of Peyton Manning's terrible day, stays alive in the eliminator, 142, and gets the win because Dozer only scored 124 points and takes the division lead after Paul loses this week to Joe Vasile, who won because Adrian Peterson was Adrian Peterson and put up 72.5 points. So that's, or 67.5 points. That's wrapping up the scores from last week. So now we look at the standings. Where does everyone lie? My division's about as even as it gets. All 3 of us are 5-5. I'm currently in first place because of the point breakers. But the first tiebreaker is head-to-head, and they both have a win on me earlier in the year. So Balky and Joe are still plenty in this division race. Now we go to the Classic Hoagie division where Rob pretty much has it. He has a 2-game lead over Dozer with 3 games to go, but you never know because they do face each other later in the year. And like I said, Jason's still technically alive for a playoff position because he's 2 spots out of it, but he might as well probably be out of it. Tim has sealed that division a long time ago. He's 9-1. Gina falls out of the playoffs after losing this week to 4-6, but if points is the first tiebreaker, she still has a big advantage because she scored so many points earlier in the season. Zach is pretty much officially eliminated from the playoffs. The sales team and Saul are now in first place alone, 1 game up on Shy, Surprise, and Paul. But Paul is still in the playoffs, which I'll get to in a moment. And loud and proud, Mr. Rosencrantz is still only a game out of the playoffs, so that's possible too if D'Angelo Williams bounces back after a bad week this week. Projected playoff bracket, Tim gets the #1 seed. Rob gets the 2nd position for a bye. The sales team and Saul would face Shy, Surprise. Paul still has the 6th seed in the playoffs, and I get the 4th seed because I'm leading my division right now against Dozer, who is the 5th highest of the 5-5 teams when it comes to points, who aren't leading their division. But pretty much everybody's still alive besides Zach and kind of Jason, so you never know what could happen as we look forward to week 11. I play Paul in what is a pivotal matchup because we're both 5-5 and trying to stay, well, it's going to rhyme, alive in the playoff picture. If I win, then I have 2 games right in a row against my division opponent, so it'll be big for me. Paul needs a win to stay in the wild card, as right now he is the lowest of the wild card teams, so we'll see what happens there. Joe Vasile gets kind of a break because he gets to play my brother this week, but he also has 3 starters from last week on a bye. So you never know. Maybe Zach will pull an upset. He has been scoring more points this than recently, so if he could, it'd be great, Zach, because Joe's in my division. I kind of want him not to win. Tim gets an easy one this week. He gets to face Jason Gill, but Jason's projected to score a lot of points this week, and he had a good week last week. So can he keep his playoff hopes alive against the #1 overall seed who has 3 starters on the bye? It's possible. Adam Balk is trying to pretty much eliminate Mr. Rosencrantz from playoff contention and keep himself tied atop the division. Let's go, Mr. Rosencrantz. I'll be obviously rooting for you and D'Angelo Williams to bounce back. Mrs. Dozer, Gina trying to keep her playoff hopes alive against her husband, the first Dozer, or as she calls him, Eric. So they'll face each other in a friendly in-house rivalry. Wonder who Oliver will be rooting for. Probably Gina. He probably likes her better. But we'll find out who wins, because one of them could get into the playoffs, the other one could fall out if Gina winds up winning there. And then, probably the biggest matchup of the week, two division leaders, Rob Yates faces Saul Doan in a big matchup to try to get some seeding and superiority heading into week 12. So good luck in week 11, guys. We'll see how everything stands out. It might be completely different than it is this week. So we'll see then. See you in about a week.